Ah, yes.
Hope I'm not too late. Sorry.
Well,
Here's my application for the national hockey team, Coach Jimmy.
your application?
Yes.
Let me see. 127 times too late for training? 16 broken hockey sticks.
Well,
Yeah, well, what else? Oh, Buddymeister, you injured 20 of your own teammates in one season.
yeah.
Well, at least you scored 311 own goals?
Well,
And why are you wearing a basketball jersey? Out!
but Jimmy,
Out!
Oh.
Servus, Freunde. My name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed more than 500 Indian movies on the channel, and once a month, all of our patrons and YouTube membership supporters can vote which movie we should watch and review next. The newest poll is already up, and this time it's about recent movies that we have missed. The last poll was all about Shah Rukh, and the winner was the 2007 Hindi language sports film Chak, India, which translates to Let's Go India. It was directed by Shimit, Amin, written by Jaideep Sahni, and it was a giant success. It was released around India's 60th Independence Day, and it made more than 5 times of its budget. It was the third highest grossing Hindi film of 2007 after Om Shanti Om and Welcome. It also received widespread critical acclaim and won several awards, like the National Film Award for Best Popular Film Providing Wholesome Entertainment, which is like
That's a nice award.
popular category.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buddymeister, who's in the movie and what is the movie all about?
Yeah, the movie starring. What? Okay.
What? Again.
The movie is starring Shah Rukh Khan. I was saying Shah, but that was starring.
Okay.
The movie is starring Shah Rukh Khan, Vidya Malvad, Shilpa Shukla, Sagarika Gatke, and Chitrashi Rawat. And of course,
A lot more.
a lot more.
Yeah. The Shakti girls. It's
The Chakde girls. Yes. So, what is Chakde India about? After a devastating loss to Pakistan, Kabir Khan is ostracized from the sport as a traitor to his country. 7 years later, in an attempt to redeem himself, he becomes the coach of the Indian national women's hockey team with the goal of turning its 16 contentious players into a winning team.
Yes, that's the story.
That's the story.
Yeah. Buddy,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
your thoughts about Shakti
Oh,
India?
man, I really think you hated this movie.
What? Why?
Okay, so I thought
Yeah.
this was a okay,
Okay.
halfway decent. I mean, it was all right. You know, the thing is, this is an okay sports movie. It's pretty basic stuff when it comes to sports movies, like the dramatic composition, the narration, everything is like it follows the formula of the sports movie genre.
Yeah.
With all the good stuff and all the bad stuff when it comes to these traits of the genre. So yeah, I thought it was okay, but I thought it was seriously lacking in stuff that I know that I want from sports movies.
Okay.
And yeah,
That's your
yeah.
first.
Let's hear your
Okay.
opinion.
Well, you know me. I'm a big sucker for like underdog stories.
Yeah.
For inspiring movies.
Yes.
Movies about a team of misfits that have to come together to win.
Yeah.
Down on their luck guys who have to redeem themselves. Movies with an important, empowering message at
Yeah.
heart. And having said all that, I thought Shakti India was one of the most mainstream, dull, by
Yeah.
the numbers,
Yeah.
predictable, lazy,
Yeah.
and
Whoa, what the hell?
and shallow sports movies that
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
I have to say, I really didn't like this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
much.
you see, you know, I totally agree with everything you said, but I think I was just a little bit forgiving because, like, this movie, okay, it's not an old movie; it's from 2007, but I was a little bit forgiving because it has some nice scenes. but like I said, it was lacking so many things I want and like in sports movies that I can totally get. I can really totally understand what you think.
I mean, it was a big thing for India.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if there are that many like typical sports movies like we know them. Like we know movies like Remember the Titans, even Karate Kid, Rocky, stuff like that from the 70s,
or
80s.
later Invictus, like it's like these.
That's more serious one.
More serious, but you mean
something like Major League and
yes, Major League, Major
so
League.
these big American movies, and I'm not sure if there are that many Indian movies about.
I think normally, about teams, about teams especially. We know like some movies about famous players. There is like we saw that movie Jersey, I think was that.
Yeah, but that's also all newer. Like
you mean the tradition of the sports movie genre?
In the 80s and 90s. I'm not sure there are that
maybe
many
you're right.
movies. And this is like the basic formula, and it's done. All right. And it was released around the 60th anniversary of India's independence. And it's of course a very patriotic movie. And people really seem to love this movie a lot. I'm just watching this as a movie. And where should I begin?
Because before you start, the thing is,
there are things I like.
But maybe people are going to say, you don't get it because you don't like hockey and you're not from. But the thing is, in Germany, where we're from, we're living in Austria, but like hockey, it's a big sport. Like I think the German.
Still, I don't care for hockey.
You don't care for hockey, but it's not like it's a foreign sport for us. Hockey is a big. I actually played a little bit of hockey when I was like 15 years old or so. So it's not a foreign sport for us, and maybe people will try to say you don't get the culture, you don't get the thing, but this has really nothing to do with the culture, I think, or with this is just about is it a good sports movie? Because
we are regarding is it a good sports movie? But I think for India it's definitely about
because they
India
maybe haven't seen like that many sports movies, or maybe didn't produce that many sports movies. That's a fair argument, but I think I think I also like sports movies
that like India has been under British rule for centuries and now they are free and it's the 60th anniversary and it's a movie that celebrates India being like united, and that's definitely something that we as outsiders we understand but we don't feel it the same
I just want to say maybe that people say we don't like get the sport or get this thing. That's really
I'm
not
completely
the case.
with you on that one, because also I like sports movies but I don't care for the sports like most of the time. I love Rocky. I don't care for boxing at all. I like Major League. I don't care for baseball in the slightest. I have never watched a baseball game in my life. Never.
But you like Space Jam
as a
you
child.
hate basketball.
So I really don't care for the sports because sports movies usually are about more than just winning at the sport. It's like
exactly. So
normally,
I guess we're at the core of this. We're at the core of the
that's
issues
also a problem
of this
with
movie.
this movie. But we will come to that. The things I like.
We're only screaming this time.
True. The things I like. I think the cast is pretty good. The people they cast in the roles. They have great faces. The performances are good. They are diverse. Shah Rukh Khan is giving a good performance here. Don't think he's like fantastic or anything, but he gives a good performance.
I thought Shah Rukh is all right. But he has like this certain kind. I know that everybody loves his performance, and I think, but he has this certain kind of effect how he tells things when he like puts the girls when he says girls come here I have to tell you something. Where he does this like you have to pay attention. It has this kind of set that I was like, come on, what is it? It has like very I don't know how to say it. It's very like with like a rhythm. He like the dun, and I didn't like it all the time. But of course it's a different role for him also. So it's nice to see him.
I thought he's pretty good in the role. But my problem is also like the role itself. The character, I I thought there is almost no character. His character is like he loves India.
Yeah.
And that's almost it. I mean, and I have a problem from the get-go because he's a character that needs some kind of redemption. But he only needs redemption because people are stupid. Because he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the movie, they lost the game against Pakistan. And he showed normal sportsmanship and congratulated the enemy team, which is what you do.
Yeah.
But he was like regarded as a traitor and stuff like that. And at the end of the movie, this will be a complete spoiler review. It's a super popular movie. Everyone has seen it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, he's redeemed because India has won. But that's, for me, that's like wrong because he didn't do anything wrong from the get-go, and it's people who are stupid, and the people didn't learn anything, and they're just happy that India won, and now he's redeemed. But that's what kind of arc
the
is
morale and the message of this movie is a bit weird because like normally, I mean, I think the right thing to learn is that it's probably not about winning, but about it's not about winning. It's about giving your best, and especially in sports. Sports is about the fact that everybody is like the same. It's like one thing that people come together and celebrate the sport. And the right thing to do is like shake your opponent's hands if he has won, if he has lost. That's the right thing to do, and don't listen to like. Most of the times, these fans really exist. They think, what the hell? What is with this? What is with this guy? He played for Pakistan. He made the goals for. He made an own goal because he bet against. He had a bet against India. I don't know. People always exist like this, but of course, I think the right message is not. You have. I mean, you can show people that you have like the guts. You can try. If you can fall, but you can stand up. All this stuff. But this movie like does it in such a harsh and strict way to tell you. You didn't. In fact, you didn't do anything wrong. There must be another way. This movie should really be about how media and how people like steer the opinion about sports in the wrong direction.
There's this big moment at the beginning and then at the very end with this child painting like traitor at his house. And in the end, someone corrects it, and I thought, this is so wrong.
I mean, and you also said like that he's not. We don't really learn anything about him. He really exists only because he is the Indian player that missed the penalty. And that's it.
And then he's the trainer for the women team. But I also don't know why exactly.
And that is also like the biggest issue for me with this movie. Not only that we do not get to learn something about him, but there are like, of the 16 women players, we have like 2 where we see like little scenes. The one is like together with a cricket player, and the other one
3 or 4.
Or 3 or 4. But I really thought we don't get to know these girls, and I thought this was a big problem. This movie is about the sport and has some nice sports scenes, but that's another issue I had with this movie.
We will talk about that
but
too.
My biggest issue is that I really couldn't feel for anybody. I know that it's a diverse cast, and that's really nice to have like women from all around India, and that they have like problems with each other, prejudices and everything. But I don't know anything about them, and I don't learn anything about them.
I mean,
it's
they
so
do
surface,
it in this
it's so surface
typical
level
way where you have a whole team, and like half of the team are like memorable faces, and we learn tiny bits, and the other, because I think they also cast like some actors and some players, and they taught the players to act and vice versa. But I also have a problem with the characters because they are all so one note, cliched, and there's nothing to them. The captain,
Vidya Naik, the character.
She has a boyfriend who is like the star cricket player.
Oh no, the captain is Priti. Priti is the captain. With the most goals.
Oh yeah, with the most goals.
Vidya is the senior player who doesn't want to play, who is rebellious.
But I'm talking about the captain.
Priti,
she's
Prita,
together with a star player, and all their interactions. That's the most comical stuff I've ever seen. He's such a toxic guy. It's so obvious what the movie wants us to feel and get in that situation, and the character work in this movie is just like very shallow at best.
Yeah.
There are almost no character arcs.
Yes.
And if there are character arcs, I didn't feel like it's for the characters to grow. It's only so that they can win the game. It's like the screenplay demands them at that moment to change so that they can win. But I don't feel like it's coming from the characters. I feel like it's coming from the script.
Yeah.
And it's
really
planted.
Yeah. It's planted at the moment, and at that moment you know exactly why it's there, because the scene will follow somewhere in the future, maybe even in the next scene, where things are like solved, and you get, okay, that's why. There's like, and that's only to build up some drama, but it doesn't work because it doesn't have any depth. It doesn't have like a profound. There's no profound background for any of this, and that's like besides like the overall message of sports and the feel to win, it only works if you have like characters that you root for, not on the surface level. You need characters where you really in the end think like, yes, they did it. Yeah. But that doesn't happen in this movie.
No, and they are not likable. Really not at all.
Yeah, I mean, there is like Komal, the like smaller, she has like, I don't know, she's likable because she has like this rebellious, maybe younger girl vibe, and I kind of was rooting a little bit for her so that she like can show the others that that she can also play the game.
Yeah, you root for her because the others are so mean to her.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the reason.
But like you said, you can feel the screenplay so much. Even like this moment where they get like at this McDonald's brawl.
Yeah.
You know, okay, now they are a team because they beat up all these men.
I will come to the predictability. I have a whole passage about that. But coming back to something I liked, overall, I like the message, of course, that is under all of this, that India has to be united, and it's not important from which region of India everyone is coming from. They are all Indian, and that's a good message. But again, the execution, I really don't like that much, because this goes hand in hand with us not getting to know these characters.
Yeah.
For my taste, I think it's more interesting and stronger if the message is like, yeah, we are all Indian, but we come from different regions of India, and we bring our differences and unique aspects with that, and all of that makes us strong together.
Yeah.
And this is more like, no, we are one homogeneous group.
Yeah, you lose everything that you are or have and become this new thing.
Just India. I thought, this person is coming from that region. Maybe she can tell us something about her life, her family, what moves her, something that goes on with her. But it's not, no, we are all Indian. I don't care that you are from Tamil Nadu, you're from that region, that's not important. And I thought, for me, you know what I mean.
I mean, also like, I mean, that's also one thing that I liked. I like I said at the beginning, I like some of these basic traits, these basic features of sports movies, like, okay, the players get to know each other, they like say
butt
some
heads.
Exactly. They say some things about each other. They switch beds and they say, you sleep there. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. I like that. But of course, like I also said, the movie has these nice features, but it also has like these typical features that are also then again solved in a way that's too, I don't know. The Vidya, the rebellious player, the senior. There's like this scene. She's the one that doesn't play for the longest time because she's like the most stubborn one.
Yeah.
And there's like this moment at the end where it's like, oh, okay, I don't know if it's Argentina or Australia in the finale. Australia, and Shah Rukh, the trainer, Kabir says, man-to-man marking. What do we do? There's only one player who can break that. Man-to-man marking. Okay, who is it? Of course, it's Vidya.
Yeah.
She comes in, she breaks it, done.
Yes.
That's the scene. I mean, there's no build-up, anything. That's not, and it's another issue. It's not as big as the issues that I had with the characters, but also that I think this movie is just not that thrilling.
No,
the way it is executed.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I thought maybe it's hockey, but of course it's not a fault of the sport. It's the way you execute this stuff, because it's not executed in a very thrilling and fun and entertaining way, because things just happen It's almost like you watch a cut of a game, but you miss like the you let all the scenes out where they like almost got a goal. And you just show the goals and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's no tension, there's no build up.
Not at all. Yeah. So this movie is completely going by the numbers from the very first to the very last scene. Yeah. And you can call
I need to drink something.
Each and every important moment that's happening, you can call it. And of course, I know most movies, and especially sports movies, they are obviously very predictable.
Yeah.
That's fine because it's about how it's done, how it's portrayed. You know the good guys will win,
but you want to get to know the good guys. Who are these people?
Exactly. This movie, throughout the entire movie, calls its shots.
Yeah.
Always. There are so many instances where they say something and you know, okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. When Vidya's boyfriend says to her that it's not happening, that if they win and come back to India, that everyone will know their name, she answers, that will definitely happen. At that point, you know, okay, this will definitely happen at the end. And it happens at the end. And then in the second half, when we come to all the games.
Yeah.
Basically, each game, you already talked about it, has its own little narrative gimmick. Like, this team plays dirty.
Argentina plays dirty.
So first half, montage, they play dirty. Oh God, what should we do? Halftime, Shah Rukh
also play dirty.
We have to also play dirty. Second half, montage, they play dirty, they win. Bam, that's it.
Yeah.
Then, like you said, there's a team that focuses on man-to-man marking. Which I think
that's in the finale, the Australian team, where they played...
The team before.
The team before, okay.
Yeah, the team before. Because in the Australian, it's something else. I will get to that.
Okay.
But it's the game before. And I think man-to-man, isn't that just like the usual thing in every team's game?
Well, maybe not so much. Because there is like where you more defend a zone where a player moves and man-to-man marking. But I know what you
basic.
It's like something that it's a basic strategy. Yeah. One of like 3 or 5 basic strategies is man-to-man marking.
Yeah. But I mean, you already said it. At that moment, it's like we need this girl, this mean girl. She's the only one that can handle that strategy. I don't know why. But then, bam, they win. It's always like that.
And it's also really, now that you say it, it's like, okay, man-to-man marking isn't really something new. So Kabir Khan must have known man-to-man marking. But now, okay, that's maybe nitpicking. But it's something like, okay, we never trained it. Never trained it. We only have this one player who can break
training, they basically don't train.
Yeah. There's no time in this movie for us to see.
That's so weird. It's 2.5 hours, and yet I really don't know what they are training, and yet it's going through all the usual.
That's also what I thought. Okay, no, you.
So then, of course, there's another issue. Again, in the last game, the gimmick is our 2 big goal scorers never pass.
Yes,
and apparently
that's like the biggest plant of this movie, this pass thing.
Apparently, the previous teams don't, I don't know, understand it, because that's something that you really can easily exploit.
Yeah.
So, of course, in the last game, they pass, bam, they win.
Yes.
Each game is that. And that's also something that was so stupid for me, because the night before is this big gala night.
Yeah.
And still, our scorers, one says to the other, I am still going to score more than you. And I thought, at this point in the tournament, they are still enemies. It's so stupid. And then in the final game, they pass. And again, I was like, the night before you were enemies, and now because the game demands it, now you are friends?
They have this little scene where Preeti, I think, says that she does that because she wants to like show that stupid little boy at home. So now the thing is, okay, maybe there is a little bit in this movie where you could say, okay, so Komal, I think the smaller says maybe she thought, okay, maybe she wants to show that asshole boyfriend there that she's the better player. I can pass to her, but that would have been a scene that we would have needed. That would have been a little bit of something that would like show, okay, she's thinking about something, so that would have given the scene a little bit more weight.
Yeah,
and without it, no weight. This scene doesn't have any depth, like, okay? So it's a nice moment when they win. It still kind of works.
Yeah, I mean, it's
they're
a sports
happy.
movie
It's
after
a sports
all. You are
movie.
still
It's nice.
getting something.
But yeah, how it's so obvious that they planted this past thing so early on that they kind of that they try to exploit it at the end. But yeah, it's also not built up in a satisfying way
and in an organic way.
Yes.
I mean, you can
Yes.
say, yeah, it's good. It's a good screenplay because stuff is planted, and then there's a reward. But it's so obvious.
Yeah.
And then I have to continue with the predictable nature of this movie.
Do.
Because in the big finale,
I still think I'm the good guy in this review.
Yeah, you are the good guy. In the big finale, we get a penalty shootout.
Yes.
And in an attempt to make it very tense, the movie makes it so that our team doesn't hit the first two. But for me, that's not making it more intense, but the exact opposite. Because then once again, the movie spells out exactly what's going to happen. The commentator says India will have to stop every stroke and convert every stroke into a goal. And I'm like, yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen now. And then that's exactly what's going to happen. You can't start a penalty shootout with you missing two, because then this is a movie where you know India will win, because it's the kind of movie.
Yeah.
And then it's not tense anymore. It's like, she will score, and they will miss, and they will, and then that's it. And I was like, this is so late. I don't know what it is. It's so baffling.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just not done in a very exciting way.
It's like, these are big obstacles, but it's so predictable.
But there are no obstacles because
because the screenplay says they have to win.
Yes.
And the problem is also the movie is fairly, I'm not sure if it's unrealistic, because it's also inspired by the Indian team winning at a big tournament, I think. But the way it's portrayed in this movie, the first game against Australia, they lose
7-1.
7-1. They are like completely devastated.
Yeah.
And apparently there's no real psychological damage or anything, because then the next game they win, and then they continue to win, and then in the end they face off with Australia once again, who is this incredible team apparently, and then they just win.
It's also something where you don't get an organic feeling of how this team developed, how this tournament or how their psyche developed. You don't get any kind of feeling for all this organic change, all this stuff that happens in between all the games. Everything, because the first hour is only the tournament, it's only the World Cup. And small little scenes in between, but there is no it feels like a puzzle where the puzzle pieces just don't fit somehow. I don't know. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, and we already talked about it a little bit, but the matches themselves, they aren't that exciting to watch. The camera, I mean, all the dramaturgy aside, but the camera is very shaky. There's a lot of editing. I really didn't get a clear picture or feeling of the actual game. And I don't think the movie is doing a good job in condensing and stretching time.
Yes.
Each match has this one big obstacle, this one gimmick, and then this one solution, and everything is fine. And it feels like each match is just 5 minutes. It's like in a what is the
70 minutes?
70 minutes.
They play 70 minutes. Yeah,
there must
two times
be so
35
many situations, and here it's like, oh damn, what are we doing? And then let's do that, okay, and then we win. But it's a 70-minute match, and it feels like they're just playing a video game.
It's so strange that I'm kind of thinking, okay, this movie is like too much thinking about the sport and not enough about the characters. But then again, you also don't really learn something about the sport. I mean, you don't see you see Shah Rukh Khan sometimes where he's like moving around some pieces and drawing some plays. But you don't get like a feel for the sport itself. You don't. So there needs to be some kind of build up to the sport that you, even if it's not executed in a very fine way, that you have some excitement about how it works, how everything, because now we need to substitute this player for this one. That's nothing. I don't know. It's Besides like another basic feature that I really don't like is like, okay, I'm the coach now. My strategy is to be the biggest asshole ever and break everybody's spirit. And I just can't watch stuff like this anymore. I know that probably. In certain kind of ways, coaches try something like this, But with this movie, it has like this, I don't know, this undertone that feels like, come on. I mean, it's like it's not the right way to get through to these girls.
Yeah,
I don't
again,
know.
it's one of the first Indian sports movies, and that's the basic formula. We have seen that in countless American movies as well, where the coach has a lot of issues, is some kind of asshole, and or something like the drumming movie Whiplash, something like that. So it's a staple of a lot of movies. Yeah. But I totally get you. It was like tiresome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes I like features like that, but then the movie has like to take another route. I don't know. Yeah. Because I mean, Whiplash is a different.
It's a different
beast because the movie is also about like this hell of obsession in a way. Yeah. But I don't know. In this movie, it just didn't work for me in that way. And also, I thought, as much as this movie like tries taking the route of being a movie about these women hockey players and these, I just couldn't shake the feeling that it's more about Kabir Khan and the redemption of his redemption and his dream. Also, and like the movie also like shows that when it has like the last scene of the movie is like how Kabir Khan comes back, and we hear these like interview snippets like where people say, it shows how one man can define a nation, can bring it back. And that's like so... Yeah. I thought it's so weird when you make a movie about the empowerment of these women, about this national women team, and then you end with Kabir Khan as the great hero, and all the women get is like the end credit gag scenes. That's like, okay.
It's from 2007, but I totally know what you mean.
It just feels so strange because the movie wants to be that. Yeah, or tries to be that.
Danga did the same. And that's even younger. It did the same. Yeah. What should I say? One last thing. Yeah. Again, another negative for me, unfortunately.
No!
But the filmmaking, I have to talk about the filmmaking a little bit. It's definitely a movie of its time.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, that was a time, like early 2000s, where a lot of the filmmaking is not really my cup of tea. For example, the music choices. I like the title track, the title song. Chak India. That's a great song.
I also like this melody that also comes at the very end, where it's like "You stole my heart" or my.
I think it's when they arrive in Australia.
Yeah, the third color means something. It's just
the positive song.
But it's also like it sounds like a prayer almost. I like that very much. But go on.
But there are a lot of musical choices throughout the movie where it won.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Choices,
where the movie presents us this modern, like, wannabe cool little stuff like that, where it's so on
cool
the nose.
Guitar riffs and
it wants to steer your emotions the whole time. The music, whenever something dramatic happens, there's music to it, and there are a lot of English words thrown in there as well.
Yes.
With the group of misfits, and that's just not for me.
Yeah, also because these songs want to like transport something that you just don't feel for these people.
Yeah.
Get a glimpse of these rebellious girls, but I don't know these girls. I just don't know them, you know?
Yeah.
One thing I also want to add is another basic feature trait of a sports movie, or like almost every movie, is like the association that are like these villains.
Yeah,
I thought it was like with the evil laugh.
It's completely comical.
I thought it was like that also didn't work. Yeah,
something that's probably a very personal thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
But for the most part of this movie, I just hated the color grading.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's from the
you told me about it, but I thought, well, okay, I didn't really like see it that way.
It gets better in the second half. Yeah. When they're in Australia, it gets better. But most of the time of the movie, it's this saturated, greenish, grayish, ugly sludge. It's really, for me personally, an ugly looking movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything in the movie's favor.
Yeah.
I don't know. This should be an inspiring, kind of lighthearted, fun movie. And then the colors are like, I don't know what they are trying. If they try to make this down to earth, maybe more realistic, but the colors, it looks so artificial to me. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, for the most part, ugly. Again, in the second half, it gets better. But in the beginning, when they are training, I thought, what's going on here?
I really wasn't paying that much attention to it. So.
Maybe it was better at the cinema. Maybe it's a transfer thing. But all the trailers I watched on YouTube, they all look the same.
Okay.
And all the screenshots on Google, it all looks the same. So I guess it's just a
the version
color
that we watched was
grading.
also pretty.
Yeah, it's high quality on
Pretty
Amazon
high quality,
Prime.
yeah.
I think it was just a 2007 thing. Like, hey,
maybe.
we can do a lot of digital color grading and let's just... I don't know, but it's not working for me. That's all I have.
So, okay.
Yeah, you're first with the German part.
Okay.
I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it.
Did. Chak India ist ein netter Sportfilm, der so ziemlich alle genre-typischen Merkmale, die guten und die schlechten, aufweist. Das macht durchaus Spaß, bleibt aber leider sehr oberflächlich, da das Wichtigste und Interessanteste, nämlich die Spielerinnen, viel zu kurz kommt.
Yes, I agree. Chak India hat einen tollen Cast und eine gute Botschaft. Ist davon abgesehen aber ein total vorhersehbarer, langweilig in Szene gesetzter Malen-nach-Zahlen Sportfilm ohne irgendeine Natürlich oder Menschlichkeit. Still, it's the perfect example of mediocrity, so I give this one 5 out of 10. It's more like 4.6, but I don't do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really...
At times it was a chore to watch this, really.
Okay. So,
You can
yeah.
give it an 8 out of 10 if you want.
No. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. It's more like 5.7, but I don't do that either. Jimmy.
Yes.
Did you ever hear of Dhyan Chand?
No.
Dhyan Chand was an Indian hockey player that lived from 1905 to 1979 and is not only regarded as the best Indian hockey player of all time, but also widely regarded as the greatest hockey player in world history. Dhyan Chand.
Didn't know that. Okay.
So, yeah.
So, if you're still watching, if you haven't unsubscribed at this point, you can find us, follow us, and support us on patreon.com/TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
Yes. And if you want to see our next rant, or if you want to get a notification on the next movie that Jimmy hates,
I think the next movie will be Kalki, so that will be interesting.
Okay, so if you want to get a notification when our review of Kalki,
I think it depends.
comes online, please.
The poll is up still, and it's still not decided.
But Kalki is
but
front
I think
runner.
Kalki is in the lead.
Okay, Kalki is in the lead, so Kalki, come on, people, click the bell to get notifications and
Yeah.